It's the final word with Adam Collins and Geoff Lemon, and we're thrilled to have with us the acting CEO of the International Cricket Council, Geoff Allardice, to talk about a very positive story, that being the ICC have formally announced today a bid for the Olympic Games in 2028 and subsequently 2032. Welcome, Geoff. Last year, the ICC announced a working group to be chaired by Ian Watmore, who's the boss of the ECB, which symbolised a big step forward. But today, you've got an extra step too by really putting your cards down and saying that you want to be there in LA in 2028.
Yeah, that's right, and good to be with you both. It's a very positive announcement today. We had our first meeting of our Olympic working group that you referred to a couple of days ago, and we've got the cricketing nations all behind it. So it's full steam ahead from here, and we thought that given the conclusion of the Tokyo Games and being able to get the Games through under extremely difficult circumstances, and well done to everyone involved. But now that we're looking ahead, it was a good time to declare our intentions moving forward.
And what you really need here is Los Angeles to say cricket's in, and there's been work going on behind the scenes on this for a couple of years, hasn't there?
Yes, both with the IOC for many years, and also initial contact with the organising committee for LA 2028. So we would need to be proposed as an additional sport by the local organising committee, but the IOC, certainly their executive and their decision makers are well aware of cricket's interest over a long period of time, and also what it could bring to the Olympic movement.
Geoff, it's been talked about for so long as one of those good ideas that never came to pass. It's like building the train to the airport in Melbourne, or they should check penalties on a video ref or whatever it might be. It's finally actually happening. It's not being talked about. It's actually been announced. Does it feel like are you breathing a big sigh of relief or sort of some sort of feeling of accomplishment that finally it's been publicly committed to?
Excitement, I think, more than anything. It really is about having all of our countries pulling in the same direction on this issue, and I think over time, different members of ours have had different views on involvement. Right now, where we've got everyone fully on board.
I think it's worth addressing the fact that Olympic purists, Olympophiles, don't really like the idea of sports like cricket being in the frame. They point at tennis or golf, and there are other examples there. But from cricket's perspective, I suppose now the damn wall has been busted down with tennis in 1988 and beyond, that why should we as a sport miss out on that? And not just the teams who might participate. It's been reported that it'll be 8 teams in there. But it's not just about the 8 teams. It's about the potential funding from national Olympic committees for all sorts of countries who are outside of the Commonwealth. Take Brazil, for example.
Yeah, that's right. It's the impact that Olympic involvement will have at national level in so many of our member countries. It's the lead up to it. It's the qualification. It's it's being part of the established sporting network. I think in some countries, being part of the Olympic movement is almost your entry pass to being part of that the national sporting structure. And I think we've had so many of our members over time wanting to be part of that that framework at a national level, and I think that that the opportunity to be involved is what's drawn us to wanting to the Olympic movement, and the fact that all of our members can really benefit from that.
Geoff, it's interesting with the way that team sports operate in the Olympics. I'm sure one of the points of interest will be, will all of the biggest and best players, the star names, be involved in it? And that's not necessarily the case with other team sports in the Olympics. Most of the best basketball players don't come from the NBA. The best baseball players don't come and play baseball. Football's essentially a development tournament in the Olympics as opposed to World Cups. How do you anticipate it panning out with cricket? Is it likely to be the the star international players as they are, or might it be more of another tier of players like we'd see with football?
Oh no, I think I think we'll be trying to bring our best athletes to the Olympic Games, male and female. In that, the formats, we'd be targeting shortest format, and I think the other sports, whether it be tennis or whether it be golf, basketball over the journey they've all brought their marquee names to the Olympic Games, and I wouldn't have thought that we'd be any different. Who those marquee names are in 2028, not 100% sure, but I think the aim would be for everyone to be fielding their best team, and but what the format of the competition looks like in 2028 is still a matter to be worked through as part of any proposal that we put forward with LA.
When this was being talked about in an earlier phase, perhaps a less mature phase, I remember James Sutherland saying, "Well, it could be beach cricket, for example," but we moved away from that novelty, haven't we? Really, in keeping with the IAC's framework, it would need to be a format of the game that it has a world championship, and therefore, it's going to be T20, isn't it? It won't be T10. It won't be 100 balls. It'll be T20, where there's an existing framework of a world championship in order to clear that bar in place from the IAC.
Yeah, that'd certainly be our starting point, given, and that's the consistent message that we've got from the IAC, is that they want an established international format, and that for us that fits well with our structures for men's and women's T20 at this stage.
What's changed in the last little while to make this possible, where a couple of the bigger boards weren't interested in having the Olympics happen? What's shifted to get it over the line?
I think two things probably. One is the view on how to best grow the game, and some countries obviously seeing what Olympic involvement could mean. Also the views at national level and how Olympic involvement fits in with national aims, whether that be sporting or whether that be cricket, sporting more generally, or whether that's within the cricket organisation. So I think that that'd be the two things I would have said have shifted over the last couple of years.
And I suppose the data that you collect as well, the fact that 92% of our fans are from South Asia, and the IAC have a stated mission to make the Olympic movement bigger in that part of the world, not least India, who haven't been a high-performing nation at the Olympics historically. Well, now the BCCI are in the cart for this, and they haven't been historically, and the IAC are keen on having a bigger footprint in their movement from India. It's kind of the perfect storm, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the Olympics are very strong in areas where we would like to get a better footprint, and I think cricket's very strong in areas where the IOC would like to get a bigger footprint. So I think it works well but we've got to, we're going to be, it's not going to be easy for us. We're going to be up against a number of sports who are going to be very hungry to be involved, and we've also got to fit in with the aims of the LA Games organisers as well. And when we get into more detailed conversations with them, we'll tailor our proposal accordingly.
So the plan is making that pitch to LA to have them involve cricket as an invited sport, and then hopefully to repeat that in Brisbane to have them invite cricket. Is the idea then that if you can get a couple of successful outings having been included, you might be able to go from there to being a permanent inclusion?
Oh, hopefully we could put our best foot forward. If we put our best foot forward twice, we could. But we're not sure of what the process. We're still waiting on to have the process confirmed for LA 2028. Via the LOC and the IOC as well. Brisbane's just been announced, so what the process is for Brisbane is probably a bit further down the track. But obviously we'd be keen to be involved in any conversations with the organisers in Brisbane as well.
I suppose a little wrinkle that people point to with Olympic involvement or multi-sport formats is the West Indies, and how do you get around that? But the fact that cricket's going to be in the Commonwealth Games at Birmingham next year for women's T20 cricket, it does give you a bit of a framework, doesn't it, in terms of effectively picking a representative from the Caribbean?
Yeah, that's right. I think we're really excited about what Birmingham could do for cricket, and I think the women's cricket event in Birmingham will be a fantastic draw card, and the qualification for that is being finalised. One of the qualification issues is which team represents the Caribbean in Birmingham, and I think that region and the West Indies Cricket Board is very excited in to identify that team, and also to be involved in multi-sport games. And I think that the Caribbean representation, or the Americas representation, if you like, around any LA games would be a great. That qualification process will be exciting and really energise a number of countries in that region.
And Geoff, in closing, I suppose this is for you, having been the acting CEO for a short period of time, but I suppose your hat will be in the ring, not expecting a big exclusive here or anything, but to take the job full time. A good opportunity for you as a potentially reforming CEO of the organisation to do something nice and big from the get-go. That must be quite exciting.
Yeah, on the cricket side, I think we've finalised our event schedule for the next 8 years. The LA Olympics fits into that period as well, so that's also part. So the cricket calendar and the opportunities to grow the game in that period, through our major event exposure, I think is starting to really take shape. So it's exciting to be able to talk about this on the back of the Tokyo Games, but the work to get included in or to put our best proposal forward for LA 2028 is really getting started now.
Good stuff. Well, Geoff, thanks for taking some time to talk with us today. Hopefully we can get you back on the show to have a long conversation about your agenda as Chief Executive into the future. Yes, thank you for making the time today.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Geoff.